Can I ask you about pain?
Yeah.
So when you're training, you have to, I used to say to my clients, you've got to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, don't you?
Yeah.
And when you train, you are constantly bombarded with feeling hungry, feeling tired, and feeling muscle soreness, muscle fatigue, and just a brain desire not to lift heavy stuff today. How do you find the resilience to overcome that, James? And what was your magic formula? How's that for a question?
The magic formula.
Do you like that?
Formula. I always tell myself just do the first lift.
Yeah.
Just start the first set.
Just lift something heavy once.
Yeah, and just start. Like, I think 9 times out of 10 you walk into the gym and you're like, am I going to lift big today? Like, there's only a couple of days that you walk into the gym and go, yeah, this is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
But that still calm, steady voice in you that says, just do the first lift, commit to the first lift. You can go home after that.
Wow.
Never have I ever gone
Just
home
done
after
one.
that.
Yeah.
And so that was my habit. Like, take the first step, do the first lift, do the first. Like, there are 1,000,001 excuses about why I can't make the gym today, even today.
Oh, yeah.
Even today.
Oh, yeah.
I was driving, all the way across Sydney to my office, and I said to myself, you know what, maybe I could go after. No, do the first lift.
Yeah.
Or maybe I could go after, oh no, just do the first lift. You pull up in the car park, maybe I need a bit more breakfast. No, do the first lift. And so you get in there, you start, and today was legs, so the first lift is big.
Oh, it's heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, a little deadlift. And so you do the first lift. You make it count, and you start to move your body, and you go, actually, I'm not lightheaded, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm actually here.
And you hook in, don't you?
Yeah. And you also know at that point how the rest of the workout's going to kind of go.
Totally.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, I'm just going to, today, I'm not going to hit any PBs or anything like that, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to leave the gym having ticked off something. And there are other days where you do the first lift and you're like, I'm going to put more on the bar, and I'm going to do this. And I think, it's a great metaphor for life, and it's a good metaphor for everything else, do the first lift, that it has that pain, the pushing through boundaries and barriers and so on and so forth meant, like when it got to stripping down in a gym full of people with no shirt on, this is Fat James talking, this is, the, little small boy who's still chubby, looking at this, big muscly James going, you can't take your shirt off in here.
Wow.
Look at that person over there.
Wow.
Look how fit they are. Look how fit that person is, and so on and so forth. And the posing coach looking at me going, why is it taking you so long to take your shirt off? Just stand in formation.
Just get nude. Do it.
Yeah.
Happen
And
to
then, just the shirt. Like, I was wearing shorts, I was wearing shoes, everything else. Instantly, that old voice, still that little James from all the way back years and years ago, childhood James, says, what the hell are you doing here? You don't belong here.
Wow.
And reminds me of all of those things. And I say, just take the first step.
Yeah.
And I take the shirt off and I walk out and I'm fully in my body. I'm fully in here. I'm looking at little James. I'm not looking from little James's point of view. And I realise in that moment, as I'm walking towards Alex, the posing coach, I'm walking towards him and going, I have made it into my body. And it's not that I'm fully healed. It's not that I don't still have pain. It's not that I still don't have, little James. It's that I'm no longer looking for him from his perspective. And so the judgment that I have for myself is from here. So I know that my boundary was I can't be shirtless around other people. That was my boundary.
Yeah.
Because it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Now, I can be shirtless around other people.
Yeah.
That's not my boundary.
Yeah.
My boundary is people abusing me.
Yeah, that's right.
So stop.
Yeah.
And so living in my body means that my boundary is not calling out when I'm uncomfortable. It's not calling out when I'm in a meeting or in a discussion and so on and so forth, and I don't quite know the answer, I can ask.
Yeah.
My boundary is no longer all of these things that make me look like a weak person, because I'm not looking from little James's point of view anymore, and I don't need everyone's approval to build him up.
Yeah, wow.
I can live in myself,
Wow.
which means I can stuff it up, which means that I can fall over, which means, and we fall over all the time, means that I can do all that pain stuff and be in it and be uncomfortable. And yeah, there were nights where, Epsom salt bath and
Panadol.
steam and 2 Panadol were never going to hit the sides. Thanks, Luca, so much. And all of that. And there are nights where I knew I should have worked out harder, and there were all of that in between.
Yeah.
But pain doesn't mean gain.
Yeah. No.
It's just a sign of something new.
Yeah.
It's just a sign of a new muscle building, or it's just a sign of a new program starting.
Yeah.
And even sweat doesn't mean that fat's stripping out of you or that something's shifting out of you. It just is a sign of hard work and strenuous activity. When something is really painful and really life-altering or really life-changing, all of those muscles that I've built to that point suddenly tell me, stop.
Yeah.
It's unsafe.
Yeah, wow.
And the difference between being unsafe versus that uncomfortable is dramatic. So pain is fine. Pain is a good way of the body telling us to regulate itself and to sleep.
Yeah, it's
and
just
to
giving
rest
us
and recover.
that's right.
All of that stuff. But the difference between a dull ache and a sharp laceration
Yep.
is vast.
Or a nerve sensation.
That too.
Yeah, that's ugly, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those, not in myself, but in other people. And you're right about clients who show up and say, how can we work around this pain or work with it?
Yeah.
Or how can I stop this from hurting long term?
Yeah.
What are the muscles that I need to build around this so that I can, fix my not turned on glute?
That's right. Yeah.
And what are the things that I can do to turn them on? And yes, I'm going to look like an idiot doing a crab walk with a weird thing around my knees across the gym.
Yeah.
But no one else cares in the gym.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've had huge pride issues about going back to the gym. It's been really interesting for me because I'm in week 6 now of being back and training with Liam twice a week, and I feel like I'm the fattest, oldest person in the gym. I actually am. I'm the biggest, oldest person in the gym because everybody is young and lovely and just younger crowd. I just happen to be the old lady there at stupid o'clock in the morning. And all the smart ones are still in bed. Anyway, so I feel like I don't look like I used to look, and I don't feel strong like I used to feel. I don't feel physically confident like I used to feel, but I'm doing it anyway. And I find it hard physically just to turn up because of how my body looks. I'm soft, I'm not firm anymore, my muscles don't look how they did 2 years ago, but I do it anyway. I just fight the head fuckery, I call it, and do it anyway. And it's interesting hearing you talking about little James. I have some monkey on my back saying very negative self-talk to me as well, and I just sort of have to stab it in the guts and do it anyway and try not to think about it. And then I sometimes, this gym has very few mirrors. It's fantastic, only at the squat rack really, so it's terrific. It's not sort of a fitness first where it's, blazoned with mirrors and lighting, which I really appreciate. So I'm not confronted with seeing myself all the time, but then I get a glimpse, if I happen to get a glimpse, because I'm doing a movement pattern near a mirror, and I get really sad. I feel really sad and think, who is that blob? Who is that blob over there? Because I almost don't recognise her in the mirror, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And I get a fright and I think, oh, gee, that's disappointing. How did I let that happen? How did I let that become a thing?
But I think all the way back in boxing, when I was still quite big, I I too had all of this self-image stuff going on, and I'm not saying that getting skinnier or putting on muscle has fixed that. I sit across from you right now, and I'm probably the fittest, fullest, like as in both health and well-being and so on and so
mental
forth,
health
and mental health. I can very easily tell you in a heartbeat, and you asked me before this what my goals would be for next thing, and it's like, I want to get 10 kilos bigger, and I want to do this, and I want to do that, and all this different stuff. In boxing, I learnt I had to celebrate each time I blocked.
Yes.
Like not on the spot, like after.
No, after. And it was great when I did that. And when
it was
that's
a point.
right.
Like every time I landed a jab, I won.
Yeah.
A point.
Yeah.
And so, and I learned that really early on. Every time I do a full rep, it's a rep.
Gold.
It's done.
Yeah.
That's 10 kilos, that's 20 kilos, that's 30 kilos, and so on. And then you push 26 kilo dumbbell, like hammer curl or something, and you're looking in the mirror going, oh, this is 26 kilos. I remember when 8 kilos was really
Just
crazy.
saying for people that are listening, a 26 kilo dumbbell is actually, the big Olympic plates that we have, and the big roid boys load them on the Olympic bar. That's one of those Olympic plates. James is curling 6 kilos more than one of those on one curl. It's like, mate, it's like epic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's really epic. I really appreciate that.
So you celebrate it every time you do it. And you go, oh, my body couldn't do that 6 months ago.
No, it's just extraordinary.
That's where I'm at with like looking at myself in the mirror with the gym and thinking, oh, I really want to be bigger. And I will talk about self-image stuff a little bit more. I had to get into the fact and celebrate every rep, which is a culture that I've adopted elsewhere in my life, about celebrating the wins rather than in myself.
Great.
Rather than waiting for someone else to celebrate it, because no one's coming on that train unless you invite them. And maybe
That's like that in ministry, can I tell you?
Yeah.
Because